breaking news, everyone. RH just unfollowed everyone on Twitter. If you care about that, you could be alarmed, I guess. Wow, you know what? I was going to take Sunday off. I was going to be like, you know what? Not a lot going on today. Nothing big to talk about with Hex or PulseChain or otherwise. I'm just going to relax, just enjoy the weather. It's beautiful here. Take a walk, just enjoy the day. And then I was like, what was that? What happened? So that's what happened. I saw a tweet, and it was something about I want to take you when I first read it, because I don't know how when people read tweets and stuff, I'm not actually reading the entire thing all the time. I'm just kind of like skimming and like, just let me scroll for a second. I really should put a timer to see how much time I spend on my phone. I don't think it's that long. I really don't. Like, everyone's like, they always say, like, the average says you spend average 6 hours per day on your phone. I'm like, who spends 6 hours on their phone? I think most of the time I spend on my phone is when I'm listening to something. I'm not actually using my phone. I'm just using it as a listening device, for example. I don't consider that using my phone. Like, if I'm using my phone, I consider that like I'm actually on Twitter, or I'm web browsing, or I'm checking email or something. I'm actually touching the device and swiping and all that stuff. But if I'm just listening to something, I don't consider that actually mobile phone usage, such as like all the things you would correlate with that, with dopamine hits and all that stuff. So it could be anything. The phone, if you're just listening to something, your phone might as well be just an old iPod or something. So anyways, I was scrolling through and then I saw something like something about, when you don't follow anyone, no one can shield trash. And I was like, wait, let me read that again. Is there something missing here? I read it again. I was like, did he unfollow a bunch of people or something? So I didn't even think about him unfollowing everyone. I just thought, he must have unfollowed some people that he saw shilling trash, for example, like whatever made him write that. He's like making this general announcement about it. And then, and I scrolled down and said, this account follows 0. I'll pull up the tweet here in a second. This account follows 0. And I'm like, wait, did he just unfollow everybody? And then sure enough, I looked at my own page and I saw, well, actually first I looked at his account. I'm just going to scroll up and it said 0 following. And I was like, whoa. And then, of course I see on my own account too. This is a different account, but I saw following. Usually, it'll say, what does it say? Like right here, it'll say this person follows you too, or something like that. You'll know if they're following you as well. And it didn't have that anymore. And I thought, okay. I don't really know what that's about. Like, you never really know. I mean, again, you can sit up here and speculate all day about like what it means, and is he just saying a message, or is it just this strategic move, or does it have something to do with a case, or talk all day? Like, nobody really knows. And does it really matter? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? What are some reasons why he would stop following everyone? Was it literally because people were saying Richard follows me, so you should listen to me? Is that something? I don't ever remember even talking about that or bragging about it, or anything like that. Never, if somebody asked me, is Richard following you? I'm like, yeah, he's following me. That's kind of cool, but it's not like, okay, it's not like we DM every day talking about stuff like, hey, everything going okay? Yeah, everything's fine. It almost sounds like the usual spam message of like, how's your investments going? All that stuff. Anyways, was it literally because he didn't want people, using that to convince other people that they should listen to him because Richard gave him a nod or something? Or was it, are we still going down this, like, he only communicates in person, doesn't use Twitter, doesn't read anything, you can't talk to me, you can't, all this stuff. So like, even further, I won't follow anyone. So if I don't follow anyone, say, that doesn't make any sense either, because your feed is still full of, unless you've only set the followers, I guess you can go back to that mode. But I think the default mode these days is, they just put stuff in your feed anyways, whatever the two categories are. I forget what they're called. So was it that? Or the other thing I thought of was, it kind of just looks kind of cool too, exclusive, right? When you see somebody who has 0 following, you're like, oh, it's like they don't need to follow anyone. They're cool if they're like, they only have their ratio, like the ratio of following and followers is like way up. If you have 0, but you have hundreds of thousands of followers or millions, for example, it makes you look more, like a celebrity or otherwise. I don't know. This is just like intellectual, who cares conversation, but I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't know. This is, see what you guys have in the chat for a minute. Put your best guess in there if you want me to tell you what I think, I guess. But no, big nothing burger as usual. I don't know who cares about this. It's a thing that happened, so it'll be fun to talk about, but I don't really take it seriously. If anything, I mean, I guess you can make a case that every time something happens like this, it's I don't really have a chart of things happening and what follows, such as bullish or bearish news and stuff. But I don't know, you guys reading into this, oh, this happened, and like, oh, there's something changed on the website. Is the website even up anymore? I don't think it is. That's another thing too. I was like, why isn't the website up? I know, everything, if he talks about it, it's always like, oh, it doesn't need a website or all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Again, we've got, over the years, there's been so many things coming from Richard that, he changes his mind from time to time about stuff. I still think he's fundamentally the same person, but you got to remember, like, he's really good at sales and stuff, right? Like, he's really good at narrative. He's very good at whatever, whatever he's doing at the time. He's good at like shaping the message to, popularize that or make that really, really good or otherwise. And all these things, you could make a case. I mean, I guess anything, not just for them, but anything in the world, any position in the world anyone takes, you could make a case on the other side. Like, okay, if I said, you know what, I'm only going to stream once a week now. I'm only going to stream once a week because, if you stream less, then more people will show up and they'll be more eager to hear your updates or what you got to talk about. It. They don't get tired of you more, or because the algos will reward you for something. I could say something like that. But then, anyone could then say, well, that sounds like just a lot of opinion stuff. So do you have any data to back up the algos reward you for it? Or have you ran the numbers? Have you tried it before and seen, your numbers before and afterwards type of thing? Why not just stream every day? If you streamed every day, you'd be really consistent and people would show up at the same time. Do the same time every day and everyone would show up. And then you'd have like this every day. People look forward to hearing from you and whatever you're going to talk about that day. I was going to say, everything in the world, you can put a position for and against it. And there's very few, like a lot of these things, there's very few facts behind them. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Richard, even the website's right there too, by the way. It's still in the bio. So if you click this, it doesn't go there. So like, I don't know what that's for. Like, why not have the website up? Or at least change your bio to not have them, to have PulseChain.com here or something like that. Yeah, I'm not here to like criticize his like bio. But I'm just saying, like, every time something like big like this happens, everyone's like, oh, I wonder why. What is the strategy for? But then I'm like, this could be for anything, or it could change later on. Later on, he could start following people again. Later on, he could just start following RHMax again, right? Like, that's what he said. That's the last thing. That's the last position he took that I remember, is like, I only follow Richard RHMax. And just funny enough, I was like, oh, cool. I'm in that club. There you go. I'm like, whatever spectrum of maximalist you are for Richard, like, you can be in that club of like, people who just like really like to promote his ideas or his products or, the ecosystem or whatever it is. Again, I think it's on a spectrum. I don't like saying like, anyways, it's just what I think on it. So, all right, I'm gonna get the chat. I just talked for a few minutes. Let's see what you guys think. Andrew Garnett, what? Yeah, I know. I woke up and was like, what is this? Does this lead to something else? Is this bullish? Who can make a bullish case for Richard unfollowing everyone for entertainment, or maybe there's something really to it? Who knows? Crypto Incognito, how's it going, man? Let's go. I like it. DJ and Dougie, how's it going, man? HH, does it matter that he understood, followed everyone? I imagine that was autocorrect for unfollowed everyone or everybody. No, not really. I don't think it really doesn't really change anything. I will say this, that a lot of the moves that he's made, as far as, again, not streaming, not making videos, tweeting, but not, you turn off replies. Sometimes replies are on, sometimes replies are off, type of thing. There's been a huge, like, not engaging with the community. And the moves like this where you stop following everyone, is this just another move to further distance himself from the community? And distance himself not as like he's going to step away or something, but distance himself as in, again, like, you guys don't need me. I'm going to make sure that no matter what I do, you're going to be fine. All that stuff. Is it just a further move for that? I don't know. It definitely doesn't. That's the only, I talked about this a little bit before. Like, the only thing I think Richard, just what I think, I speculate that he knew that a lot of people would, once we got on the PulseChain, that it wouldn't be just that Hex is the only thing that matters anymore. It would be PulseChain. And then in PulseChain, he knew, I imagine, that it would attract a lot of people to build, and that they would have their own incentives. And especially when the price go down for core coins, they would want to look to other things to, preserve value or whatever on the certain time frame that they were interested in. So yeah, it's like I feel like I've had this conversation so many times. It sucks that the splitting and buying pressure has become so intense that it's like, we don't have everyone just funneling this message of buy Hex, it's amazing, or PulseChain, why you don't have enough PLS, or we don't have enough people just like having this one message, because there isn't just one message anymore. It's whatever people are aligned and incentivized to do in the ecosystem, because it's not one coin anymore. It's the ecosystem. If you, again, participate in the ecosystem. So, do I wish it was just like, I wish everyone was like, oh, I'm just going to, go out of my way to buy the core coins and promote them. And, every time, just inherently, again, it's nothing against anyone. Like, I'm just speaking generally here and what I think about the stuff. Like, when you're talking about other coins, you're talking about, you go start your own company, start your own product, start your own whatever. That is, to me, the reason I've been always less interested in that, for example, is that it takes time and brain power and energy away from me promoting the core coins and the ideals and, Scivive and like all this stuff. So that's why I've always avoided it too. I have no monetization policy and stuff like that. Like, I really just want to like tie that into the brand and really help myself focus at least the majority of time, or at least as much as, I feel like doing, because again, it's all up to my discretion, right? To, promoting the ecosystem and healthy games played in that, and, Richard and his ideals and stuff like that. But when you have other projects, you have other things going on, inherently, you're going to have your incentives are going to start going in the other direction. Not the other direction technically, but other directions. So you're just going to naturally feel less inclined to be like, yeah, let me just talk about PulseChain all the time, or let me just talk about Hex all the time. You're going to be like, okay, maybe I'll talk about that, but also I'll talk about this other thing that I want to succeed and stuff too. And there's various degrees of that. It's on a spectrum. Some people like just literally just don't talk about Hex anymore, or talk about PulseChain or whatever. I'm sure there's some people on that spectrum who've just basically left that idea. They're like, nope, price went down, can't care about this right now, need to get, my priorities are, this is my time frame, and I'm going to go talk about the things I think are going to help me get to my goals individually or whatever, or in this group I'm in, or whatever, as quick as. And it's not like that's, it's not like a bad or good. It's not a black and white type of thing, but inherently, again, that's why I try to, I try to avoid like private groups and masterminds and like all these other things. Unless if there's something that really means a lot to me, I think it's really going to help PulseChain, maybe I'll tend to spend more time on it, but I really try not to. I try to, like, it better be really meaningful to me, and it better like really, strike me as interesting and strike me as, either helpful to the ecosystem or helpful to whatever, or personally fascinating or otherwise, for me to spend time on it. And I try to do that a lot. But that's just me. Some people, it just doesn't, everyone has their own thing, right? Everyone has their own mission, or maybe some people don't have a mission. They just like kind of just, they're entertained by certain things, and certain things they're not. But for me, it's been, prioritizing, promoting the ecosystem, promoting projects I think that are healthy for it, and RH ideals and stuff like that. So anyways, if you thought the splitting and buying pressure was real before PulseChain, afterwards we've seen, there's still plenty of people staking and buying hex and stuff, but it isn't like everyone is just funneled through that ideal now, and everyone's just like talking about the everyday like it used to be, and how Pulse, and for good reason, right? Like a lot of people aren't getting rewarded, right? They're not seeing that whatever they expected to happen, which regardless of what they should have expected or shouldn't have or whatever, they're not seeing it do whatever they need to do, and they don't see that. Then how can you expect them to just keep like chugging along and keep self-sacrificing? That's a lot to ask from people. So I totally get it for people who go onto other projects, or leave the ecosystem, or just don't promote things like they used to or whatever. Like I understand it. I get it. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish we had more of a reason to, like, other than just, I wish we had price go up and the principles and values that everyone wanted to talk about and promote and like spend energy towards and be totally incentivized and, just refreshed to be like, yeah, we're fighting for freedom and privacy and the price is going up and I'm not losing money and all I have to do is hold. I don't have to trade. And it's amazing. I wish that was the case, but it's at least for now. I mean, we haven't seen that very often. You just about have to be a trader to catch a green candle these days, or just get in early in projects or do all these other things you didn't have to do before. Like before it was buying Hex, holding Hex, staking Hex, getting rewarded. Price went up for a period of time and it went up and down and went down and went sideways. And, it didn't crash 98, 99% for a while. So again, I can see how that affects people, how they can get realigned by that happening, how they can get like, start wanting to play other games because, yeah, I mean, there's what you got to really go further and really believe in the ideals and really like, I don't know, just the people who are still here that are, avoiding shilling trash, for example, Richard's words. I would say not easy to do. I'm almost like sympathetic almost of like, yeah, I get it. I get why people go off the, they just rage quit or whatever sometimes. So, anyways, I think that we've just been through a lot the last couple of years, and I hear how people are feeling, and hopefully, me and a lot of other people in the community can just still focus on building, focus on onboarding, focus on helping people understand at least what we see in the ecosystem and the ideals we want to support, and the long-term, I'm going to start calling it long-termism instead of short-termism, long-termism of how these products have changed people's lives before, hopefully how they'll change them in the future. It's so hard to look in the future for most people. Most people don't, their time horizon just moved around or other priorities change, whatever. Everyone's got stuff going on, but hopefully we can, I don't know. It's almost like if price go up, it seems like it helps at least give people confidence that they're getting rewarded for the wait. And if price doesn't go up, it's almost like the energy needs to, if they're going to stick around, the energy needs to go into something else or some other thing other than, appreciating the chart or even getting yield. If the yields were up, for example, if the prices were up a little bit more and people were yield farming and making like a ton of, they could see like the actual dollar amount, the ton of dollar amount they're making. Again, I know a lot of people are like, dollar amount, that's not, you should look at what was priced in Pulse. You should look at, the future value, look at all that ink, what if it's worth this much in the future? It just doesn't translate for again, like 95% of people then seeing, oh, wow, I'm making $3K a week. I should keep liking this thing, when they can look at another ecosystem or look somewhere else and be like, whoa, I can make that much over here. Why am I this thing like seems very uncertain right now. The founder's not streaming, blah, blah, blah. I can see I can make a case where you're just like, yeah, this just doesn't make sense for me to, only buy these coins and just hold them for a while. Like you start trying to play any other game you can to figure out how to get some profit and just reward yourself for the work you felt like you put in. So not easy. I guess a long way of saying it's not easy. And yeah, I get it. I sympathize with people out there that are struggling to hang in the ecosystem and all that too. But that's why, I've said it plenty of times before, mission oriented. I didn't come in here, with a 6-month time horizon or say like, okay, if this price doesn't go up, if we don't do a 10x in 1 year after launch, then I'm done. Like I didn't come in there with those kinds of expectations or those kinds of timelines. I came in the ecosystem, again, following Richard since 2017, before Hex. I came into PulseChain, very excited, very hopeful. And it was very fun for the first few weeks. And then after that, a little less fun up and down. But I think the networking you're exposed to here, the people, the community, I mean, a lot of positive people in the community as well. And the ideals, again, what it stands for, and the future potential, if you believe, and all these other bullish things we've talked about a billion times already. It could be, tongue in cheek, 1 billion reasons, 2 billion reasons, 3 billion reasons that it could have some success in the future if the whales bets pay off, and that is indeed what everyone supposes will help the ecosystem, as well as people building and more easy ways to on ramp, and we just got a central exchange listing. And again, I feel like I've broken record for like how many different bullish things there are to be around here. But it's kind of, at the end of the day, if you're not seeing the green candles go up, you kind of got to believe. I mean, if you're going to stay around and be happy and stuff. So anyways, that's my perspective. At least for me, it's like I kind of got to believe in something else. Otherwise, why wouldn't I go chase green candles elsewhere? So yeah, I believe in the ideals of this ecosystem. I believe in Richard as a person to do and accomplish great things. And obviously not the person of rugs, not a rugging person. And yeah, I believe in the people around me that have shown that they're willing to take chances and build on an ecosystem because they see something in it too. Not the only one. I've said before, what would make me leave the ecosystem? If I turned around and saw no one else here. Nobody else, it's just me now? Just me? Okay, well, I guess there's no community, What's the point? What's the point in being here if you're just anyway, go create a blockchain and you just go hang out. I mean, it's fun, I guess, but not a lot going on. So we're far from that. Even though we have a bunch of different people with different incentives, some like Richard more, some like Richard less, building here, and again, putting their time, energy, effort, capital, sticking around, no matter what event happens, such as the unfollowing, like stuff like that, or SEC stuff or whatever. That's actually exciting. Like that kind of stuff, it sucks for it to happen, but I'm actually excited to see what happens in October too, because there's so much to be positive about that. And the legal team and the case, the motion dismiss, like a beautiful body of work of art, let's just say too. So anyways, there you go, HH. You got me thinking of some other directions there, so I appreciate it. Just a second, let me grab a drink. All right. I just got tired of so-called PLS maxis creating meme coins to get the community, like with Bessie, whoever just what makes one real. Oh, I mean, who knows? I don't know if he really. I don't know about how much attention he pays to community projects. Like if I were to guess, I imagine Richard he just probably every once in a while looks at Twitter, from his account, and it's just like, probably scrolls it for a minute or two and then just like that. That's all. I'm good. I don't think he pays attention to the community as much as, I don't know. I just don't think he spends so much time on it. I feel like he's got time to spend on other things. So maybe, but then again, he's made posts about like, look at PulseChain. It's got all these things, DeFi products. He's mentioned meme coins before. He's mentioned, he's talked about fame and inner money and all this stuff too. So, which, obviously a lot of those are legit projects and stuff, and it'll, healthier games and bring value in and onboarding, all that stuff too. So I don't know. I'm not sure if he just like looked around and got fed up with, seeing people create things he didn't like. I don't know. Don't think he, like, what is it? I guess like part of me, and it's not my personal opinion. Like, of course, if people create things that I'm not interested in, or I'm like, oh gosh, that, whatever, like I'm not interested, or, I can't see how it's good for the community, whatever. That's whatever. I stopped paying attention to it or otherwise. But for him, I just can't imagine he would even care, because what would it change? Like, it's not like he's going to, if he doesn't communicate with anyone, and, we're all decentralized, we're all this community that just, again, nobody works for him. He doesn't work for us. We all just kind of do whatever. Why does he care in the first place? Like, what does it matter? Like, what is he going to do other than, he does make tweets from time to time of like, if you could kind of read between the lines of, he sees something that he thinks, could be a better idea or otherwise, but I don't know. Anyways, appreciate the last part though. That's why Max wrote. Appreciate that. Crypto Dan, how's it going? Richard up to something? Who knows? After this, we could see something else that made it make more sense. I don't know. I'm going to speculate no, just because it seems like a nothing burger to me personally, but like he could make any other change to his social media. He could turn Instagram back on. Like, who knows? Like, why did he turn Instagram off? Why not just delete all the videos he didn't like? He used to not delete tweets. I don't know. Have you delete tweets? I feel like I can't even remember. Like, I don't even remember. I just know he's like changed his opinion on stuff over time and changed the way of working. And again, I think it's all part of whatever strategy he's going for. It's intentional, that kind of thing. That's what I believe. So I don't know. Technology doing careless. Yep. I believe you. Me too. Good conversation starter, at least. But I was talking about earlier too. I wish he wasn't so distant from the community. And again, I know it's not, it probably has good reason to do so, whether it's legal reason or whether it's whatever it is. I'm sure he has good reason to do that. But it's not like, people are going to like him more for unfollowing everyone. It doesn't create like more connection, right? Like when he unfollows everyone, if any big, person, celebrity, founder just unfollows everyone one day, it's not like people are like, oh, that's, cool. I'm so glad he did that. Like I feel, because think about the other way. What if one day he had 0 followers and then he started following, 100 people or 200 people? If you were one of those 100, 200 people, you wouldn't feel bad, right? You'd probably feel good if any famous person started following you and you were in that select group, I guess. So anyways, I just wish, I wish we were able to be closer with him and what's going on and all that stuff, but it's just the way it is for now. So good they did unfollow him. Now think about it. I don't see any downside other than, again, he just distancing himself a little bit from the community doing that. Of course, some people may take it personally, some people may not. Of course, like for me, it's not like I don't know, like if he had just unfollowed, 50 people and you're one of the 50 people, maybe that'd be like, oh, well, did I show something or otherwise that he didn't like? Or, but if he does it for everyone, it's kind of like this general, like, I'm just not going to follow anyone. Like, I don't need to. Again, it could just be a status thing. It could be like, oh, my social media engagement guy tells me that zero, just like outreach marketing stuff, like accounts following 0 people have this huge ratio, and like the algorithm rewards them for that. I don't know. It could be something like that. Anyway, sorry, you guys got a lot of comments. I talked for a while, so can't get to everything. But what's up, Crypto Land? What's up, TS Pedro? Tam, how's it going? Welcome. Last shakeout. I know, it's like, I don't know how many times we can say shakeout until it just, all right, this is the last one. It's the last one for the 10th time. The last time. We can't go any. It's the bottom. It's the bottom for the community. Every time something happens, it's the bottom. It's like, I don't know. I stopped keeping track of bottoms and shakeouts and stuff. And we always hope it is, right? We always hope it. This is the event. We'll look back and this is the event where everything just turned around and went up. I hope so, but I don't know. But doesn't matter, right? Like anything changed? I don't think so. Not for me. Don't think it matters. We're here to set example with Adam. We're amazing leaders. I agree, Tam. I agree with that. Good news, he has unblocked everyone. Has he? That would be interesting. I don't think that. Yeah, give me a reference for that if that's true. I haven't seen any. I'm not sure. Unfollowing everyone unblocks them too, or has that effect as well. But yeah, I'm not sure. What's up, Duke? Rich, I have 1 million followers in bull market. I've thought about those numbers before. If you look at Lunar Crush, if anyone subscribed, it's really just like $5 a month or something. It's I look at that sometimes just to look at engagement and stuff, and you can look at charts of people's followers and all that. And yeah, 300K in a bear market. Could you triple that in a bull market, especially if things are going well for PulseChain and stuff? Like, why not? I almost feel like RH should have 1 million followers. It's kind of like, how does he not have 1 million followers already from all the amazing stuff and all the promotion and all the outreach marketing? Gained a lot of stuff too. I mean, for better or for worse, his social media profile, memes, all this stuff. Yeah, it feels like he should have 1 million. I feel like if we saw like 1.2 million here, 1.22 million, that would I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. He always said if you show anything on this coin, don't follow. Did he say that? He said, I think I've heard him talk about if you show trash or scams or literal scams. I think that was a quote I remember. If you show literal scams, I'll unfollow. Because I think there's plenty of people who talk about other coins that he follows. Like I talk about other coins. I've made tweets about other coins and stuff. Obviously, nothing I think it's a scam. Only the ones that I really think are interesting I've talked about. So, and I don't remember him ever unfollowing me other than obviously with everyone else today. Yeah, I've seen other people that he followed talk about this stuff. So I'm not sure it's, other than his coins. I think, again, could be wrong, but I think if I remember right, it was if you show like literal scams. I think I remember him tweeting about that before. He hasn't blocked everyone he blocked too. Okay. Maybe he has. I don't know. I was not blocked, so I don't have direct access to confirm that. But yeah, in the chat, confirm if you were blocked by Richard, are you unblocked now? It's actually interesting because if he doesn't follow, if he unfollowed everyone and then he unblocked everyone that was blocked. I mean, that second part, if you're going to make a bullish, if you're going to come up with a bullish case for this, does he want everyone to see what's next? Just top of my head, I'm like, if he unblocked everyone, because they're two different things. If you unfollow everyone, you just stop seeing them, or they can't. I don't know if you have DMs turned on or not. I don't know. But if you unblock everyone, interesting. And he just talked about blocking people more the other day. He did a tweet. He's like muting. He was basically talking about how he prefers blocking over muting. Where was that? He's been on a tweet storm lately, where I guess tweet storm would be like, well, a relative tweet storm over the last few days, I guess you would say. Yeah, somewhere through here he was talking about that. Yeah, mute doesn't work as well because they just spam your threads. You can't even see it. Block controls make social media more enjoyable. Next, you can hide and then block. Interesting. And then he unblocks if you guys can confirm that too. Not that I don't trust you, RHMax, but that'd be interesting if he did indeed unblock everyone. Maybe tomorrow's a new start. Could be. Hopefully, I mean, we can only hope, right? We can only hope this is good news, or leads to something good. Crypto land, he's obviously angry. Not everybody made meme coins. I don't know. Did he get? I don't think he. I never hear him like be angry. I don't think he gets. Like when I read his tweets, at least I'm not like, oh, Richard's mad. I'm just like, Richard just wants to tell everyone what's on his mind right now. Anyway, that's the way I interpret it. I never see like, even in all caps, he's probably just. It just reminds me when he's streaming and he's like, he'll say like he's just trying to get the point across type of thing. I don't know. I think he probably is. I imagine he has a good ability to avoid getting like actually angry a lot, because why should a lot of things matter to him, right? Like he's a smart guy, supposed billionaire, multi-billionaire even. Probably has a lot of, busy guy, but life is probably pretty good. And people on the internet, I imagine he has an ability to not let people on the internet make him that upset, I would say. He's following 3 accounts now. Uh-oh. Is this the refollowing? RHMax, you are good information if that is. Oh, no. You just faked me out, RHMax. I still see 0. Unless he unfollowed them real quick. I think he's just protecting people. I don't know. Like, I guess I have a different perspective as being someone, being a creator and making content and I'm trying to think, did I ever look at anyone's and see Richard following them and be like, oh, was I ever suspicious of someone or not really know them? And then I see that Richard's following them and I'm like, oh, maybe they are okay. I don't even really pay attention to the, followed by thing. I can't remember a time where that pushed me over the edge of like, thinking more positively about somebody. But I'm not the, I guess I'm not the average community member because I'm kind of like in this zone of, creator and YouTube and Twitter and stuff too. So I wonder the, other community members if they feel that way though. Yeah, let me know. You guys feel that way? I'll wrap up in here in a few minutes, but let me know. If you saw Richard was following someone, did that make you like trust them more or, help you, maybe think differently of them in a positive way? Let me know. It says, I follow RHMax and LO. What's up, Russ? Alex Motter, one of the few remaining real ones comes PulseChain maximum. Appreciate that. Yeah, and even me, like I like GIF stuff, right? Like I've talked about GIF a lot. I think it's fascinating. I think it's hopefully going to be great for PulseChain. I'm not a hex maxi or PulseChain maxi for the coins, I guess you'd say. I'm a maxi for RH ideals. And of course, I think his products are some of the best to promote in this ecosystem. So yeah, in my spectrum of being RH maxi, I think I do try to, of course I'm not here like, I do try to stick to PulseChain stuff. I think that's one of my things I try to avoid is going outside of, as far as like promotion stuff, I try to avoid. I'm not saying I'm never, all this stuff, but like I try to make it make sense what I'm doing and you can come back to my mission of what I'm doing. And I think promoting the PulseChain ecosystem and things within it that I think are good, and I went through all the different ways I evaluated stuff before. That's what I try to do. So yeah, why don't you create a coin? It's like My answer is always, I have a coin. It's Hex. I like Hex. That is, if I had a coin, it'd probably be Hex. Like that would be the coin I would choose to be like, that's my coin. That's the coin I like. That's the one. I like for wealth creation and prosperity, and that can do the most for the world. I think if we're able to get back to glory, man, like Hex is the product. It is the Bitcoin, Bitcoin with the time lock, that kind of thing. Like a better Bitcoin because you can lock it up and earn Hex in yield terms, and of course the price is down, so everyone's like, oh, it's not staking, all this stuff. But that's the original idea, right? It's like better Bitcoin. It's like you can, hopefully we get that narrative back in full force and surprising a lot of people. Certainly hope so. Is it the bottom signal? I don't know. Talked about that earlier. OBX. I don't know. I feel like we've had a few bottom signal events have been called out as bottoms and all that stuff. And I don't know. Hexagon, how's it going? DJ Cryptomatic, this move sucks. I don't know. I feel pretty neutral on it. Like I don't feel positive. Although if he unblocked everyone, again, can someone confirm the unblocking? I haven't scrolled down far enough yet, but if he did unblock everyone he blocked, that seems like you could come up with a more bullish case than just unfollowing everyone. I know it's probably a stretch. I'm just kind of, talking about it, but Big Boy Garms, Arch going into hiding where it's reality too tough for him to face. Can you not take criticism? I just don't think he cares. I think people on RH's level, they just, any billionaire, right? Like any Elon Musk, again, I'm going to compare him to that. I think there's a lot of similarities. They're not one-to-one, but I think there's a lot of similarities. Does he care about people criticizing him? Like, he's on a mission to do all these things. So I just don't think he cares, honestly. That's why I don't think he spends a lot of time on this stuff. I think he's probably working on other things, I imagine. So I don't think it has anything to do with it. I don't think he's hiding, or he just doesn't, he has a very, I imagine, again, just my thoughts. I imagine he has a very selective list of things he cares about. And it's probably not what the community thinks very much. I mean, maybe to a certain degree, you hear when, EX thing happened, a lot of pushback, and obviously probably, wanted to talk about that. But in general, did that change anything? Right? It's not like he changed. When people complain about when he said that he wasn't interested in single side staking, have we saw single side staking? Maybe we will, but if we don't, I mean, I don't think he just, like I said, I think he's very selective about what he listens to and what he acts upon. And I imagine a lot of it, he probably does have, maybe has a circle of people that he listens to. And it may be very large, maybe 10 or 20 people that we've never heard of, or select people around the community or otherwise. And everyone else, I think he just decided it's better to do that for him to operate and be effective and stuff. Sounds, so I just don't think he listens to a lot of it. Because again, like who's going to have there's very few people on this planet that's going to me, that's going to have better judgment, a better opinion, a better way of doing things. Not say that he's never done anything that he, that could have went better, or not say he never makes mistakes, or blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying in general, these people, like, they're pretty confident that in the path they're going towards, and we'll see. Hopefully so. XG Banger, it's been a year when we can start having expectations. I hear you. I don't think anyone thought it would take this long for price go up quite a bit, but it did. So here we are. I don't know. I see an amazing place, and just because just because it's not reflected in the chart doesn't mean it won't ever be. So Again, nobody knows anything. In a field of uncertainty, I can just place my bets and go with what I believe in. So again, anyone, like I said in the beginning, like anyone else who is tired of it or wants to do something else or whatever, I totally get it. But yeah, I think a few of us at least believe, and we have time. And again, everyone's got their own time horizon. Everyone's got their own thing. If you can wait, you can wait. If you can't, you can't. But it could just be, hopefully just everyone tries to be as positive as they can right here. But no, I get it. All right, I'm about to wrap up in a sec. You guys are blowing up chat, though. Appreciate it. Being pretty respectful, too. Thank you for that. What does a bad coin creator look like? What are the red flags? I'll tell you when I look at projects, what makes me more interested and what I kind of like put in the different tiers. I've had videos I did on this before too, but one, are they good? Is there like some kind of positive feedback loop for the core coins, for Hex, for PulseChain, PulseX, stuff like that? Two, do they have some kind of utility, some kind of like protocol that can lock up TVL, bring people in, provide some kind of service on the blockchain? That's kind of like a tier 2. And tier 3 is there's obvious onboarding effect that isn't just this like, oh, they'll probably like, this is a thing that they'll like, it isn't just like there's this obvious like path of onboarding with this project, like whatever it is, and it's not just this people. I don't know. There's different scales to that too. Like sometimes it's I guess in a long-term onboarding type of thing where people come here and leave their money here instead of just come here and play and leave. Tend to like those a little bit more. The long-term onboarding type of products and services and stuff. And then everything else is kind of like experimental, unknown, not sure, could be good, all that stuff. And then below that's like, okay, where's value here? What is getting locked up? What makes anyone, stay here for this? Scams that like, they don't know they're scams yet, but like, they're not really creating any value. They're just like, or they're literally like taking value away type of stuff. So that's kind of like the evaluation. Type in RHMax, how do I evaluate PulseChain projects or something? I think I talked about it a few different times, but that's what I would say what I think are positive for the ecosystem and the things that I pay more attention to than most, because I don't pay attention to a lot of projects. It's nothing personal. Obviously, it's just like I have a certain amount of time, certain amount of brain power, and I just want to prioritize that. So that's some of the things. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Oh, RHMax says I used to be blocked. Don't know why, but I'm unblocked. Okay, so at least, yeah, let me know if anyone else has been unblocked. If the unblocking is did indeed if there was indeed an unblocking as well as an unfollowing, that would be interesting. Crypto Ethos, yep, that is the 0 following. I'll refresh to make sure. Yep, still 0 following. He unfollowed everyone, it appears. Oh, no, I was wrong. Fake cards. That's all it's unblocked. Sorry. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like there wasn't an unblocking. There was not an unblocking. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an unfollowing event. We'll call it like that. So hard to make the bullish less easy to make the bullish case for an unfollowing versus an unfollowing and an unblocking. So yeah, sounds like just something you want to do one day, in my opinion. Who knows? Tomorrow the sack wallet could just start buying stuff like crazy. Like this could mean that, or it could mean literally nothing for months. Like it could mean anything in the world. You could make up like this leads to something, but I don't, I'm joking. I don't think it leads to anything, but I wouldn't mind to be pleasantly surprised. I'll say that. Archie, I don't use Twitter. My last bit about that. There is a lot of truth to that. As far as just, there's different ways to use Twitter. I'll say that. And that's why, I don't think I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I basically just check it every once in a while for just a few minutes. And that's it. There's nothing, I don't follow a lot of people either. So, and there's just not a lot of, these days, it's really hard to get good information. It's just mostly just other stuff that I'm just not interested in. I like Twitter for that. I like Twitter for information. I like getting good information, and then I can, think about it. And if it's interesting, share it, curate it, kind of tell you what I think about it, type of thing. Yeah. Anyways. All right, I'm about to wrap it up. All right, RHMax, there was no unblocking. No new accounts refollowed. Just looking at the cards account. Gotcha. No worries, man. No worries. Thanks for clarifying that. Pedro says Hex continues to grow as ecosystem. Lots of new projects popping up using Hex as collateral, for instance. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think people building, there's some legit projects that are building on Hex. And yeah, I think, again, I don't talk about all of them all the time. I guess I probably don't know about all of them and all that stuff too. But I think hopefully, the more people building on Hex and the more, hopefully we got Hedron coming out, hopefully V2 at some point. And that'll be a revitalization of some of the stuff that's been built on Hex too. So excited for that. Excited to hear from Alex and about a lot of stuff he's building. Data centers, rocket pool stuff has been talked about, but haven't got an update on for a while. So that could be cool. That's, I talked about exciting things in 2024. That is one of them I'm looking forward to for sure. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Somehow I went on an hour about, having a community conversation about Richard unfollowing everyone. So thank you for your comments and your questions and all that stuff too. Appreciate y'all, being around and all that stuff too. So have a good rest of your weekend. I'm gonna try to relax a little bit the rest of my Sunday and be back tomorrow with a community stream. Community stream around 4:00 Eastern on Monday. And till then, Scivive and 5555. We are out.